like a festival. Shit, that's about life. Get lost in my bed, you on little way. Hit the D slow side stroke before I switch tunes on you. In your ear, I guide you. You don't need no nigga, and I like that. Ain't no BBs round your neck, the free spread. Gave me time to waste time. I found some peace of mind and made it time to ease your mind. We be childlike, raise each other like scum. Fuck flower boy, bumblebees and garden sheds. Pollinating sunflowers, yeah, we still apart. I could be the one to lead if you believe that we could be. It's hard for me to feel the breeze. Could those be autumn leaves? They pink just like your cheek. We do this back and forth, the rambling. I'm awfully awkward off the topic. Do you want this pack of Charlie Puss and shit? Can you give me 1 second? Okay, now someone told me when it's coming. Yeah, I could be your plushie, cuddle love with you or something. A weighted blanket, sipping chocolate, neck and go be bumping. A crunchy roll, get cozy, my little story, what we watching. What we, I know that you ain't one to start the combo. I see the way you look at me, the fireworks are starting. Ruby red cheese, roasted marshmallows, how I feel it's starting. Touching me while I go,
Oh, all right. All right, and we should have it all set up. Check, check. Can you guys hear me? Pablo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you and I can see you.
Oh, okay, so I can hear you, but not in my headphones. Give me just a second. Chat, let me know if sound and everything is working for you guys as well.
We're back, baby.
All right, check, check. Bald DK, yes. All right, Roasted, can you hear us? Check, check. Does everything work for you guys? Can we hear everyone? Yep. Yep. So I know I can hear you. I think it's my mixer settings that I'm concerned about.
Mic definitely changed.
I hear check, 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 check. Okay. Hopefully everything works. Okay. We'll call it. All right. So what's been going on, guys? It's been a couple weeks now since we all last got together.
It's been a while.
Yeah, life has been insanely busy. Wait, Pablo, not so good?
Oh wait, I think I have to be closer to my mic. I just was kind of far.
Okay, so you can hear me, but you can't hear Pablo.
What about now? Wait, it breaks. Never mind. Okay, I think I'm good.
Check, check. How about now? Can you hear him now?
My screen is frozen, I think.
Wait, Pablo's frozen?
Oh no, I'm back.
Technical difficulties, guys. What type of podcast would it be without... Exactly, we gotta have the scuff. Embrace the scuff.
That's part of the charm.
He sounds distant. Alright, try saying something now, Pablo.
Okay, I'm trying to fix. Okay, I did it. I fixed my camera.
Okay, is he still distant, guys? True adds character.
It does. It really does.
It would really
Okay.
be helpful if I didn't have like 30 audio systems that my laptop's trying to pick up right now.
I mean, I'm closer to my mic. I feel like that was the problem.
All right, say something now, Pablo. Okay, so now say something.
Well, I told you, get another mic, fellow. Yeah, I mean, I can get it in like 2
Okay.
seconds, mate.
Hopefully it works now. I think I got it all
Yep.
set up properly, guys. All right, but Pablo, what's been going on? What have you been up to for the last couple
Oh.
weeks?
I recently went to America. I went to your country.
Oh yeah, where'd you go?
I went to Dallas.
To Dallas?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, so Texas.
Yes.
So, fun fact. Texas does not reflect on the rest of our country. Nor does the rest of our country reflect on Texas.
I didn't have any bad experiences, but it's kind of telling that every single waiter I had spoke Spanish.
That's kind of dope. See, so my thing is like Texas is kind of like the Quebec of Canada. Right? Like so
Okay.
how Quebec is basically like they could be their own country. They're just not. That's kind of what Texas is
not
here.
to be.
Yeah, Texas could be its own country. They just decided that they'd rather not. But they still do things their law. They have a lot of laws there that are only there. Like they don't reflect. The rest of the country doesn't have the same. Like Texas is different, but it's actually like low-key blowing up lately.
I mean, yeah, I used to go a lot actually. Growing up.
See, I've actually
Dallas.
never been in Texas myself, but I have a lot of friends in Texas.
Wait, I have an idea. Give me a sec. I know how to fix my mic.
Okay. And chat, how has chat been? Have you guys been up to anything cool? I see Saul in there. Thank you for showing up, Saul. Roasted, how have you been? It's been a little while. Long time no see, friend. Florida? I mean...
Okay.
Okay, Florida's different, because, like, Florida impacts our state a lot in, like, elections and stuff, but I think our whole country also agrees that Florida's fucking ridiculous. Like, the people in Florida are
Dude,
insane.
the other day I was watching a documentary on... There's a Florida gang war going on right now between rappers. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. That sounds like an American thing going on.
Has anyone heard that song? There is a remix of Vanessa Carlton's A Thousand Miles. An insane rap song. The most disrespectful rap song ever made.
I haven't.
That from that beef.
Okay, yeah, I haven't heard that one.
The guy is literally just saying people that he's killed.
Oh. That's one way to do it, I guess. I feel like that's a good way to get investigated.
I mean, there's... MF Doom made a whole song about rappers snitching on themselves.
Yeah, like that's the thing is that's exactly what that sounds like. That sounds like snitching on themselves.
That whole gang war is just people snitching on themselves, and no one's being caught.
Now it's too close. Okay, what if I do this?
Okay, I was physically very close to it. It should be better now.
Okay, hopefully. Oh well, y'all can embrace the scuff like we do.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, and so what were you doing down in Texas? Just hanging out and visiting?
I went to get vaccinated, actually.
Oh, to get a vaccine? Which one did you get? Pfizer or did you get the
Johnson & Johnson,
Moderna?
so I don't have to go back.
Oh, I don't know anything about that one.
It's supposed to be good for the Delta variant. That's what they've said.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard anything on that one. I know I had the like Pfizer vaccine. But yeah, I had to get them. They were like 2-3 weeks apart.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how close are we. They just announced that they're vaccinating people between 18 and 20, but I'm not sure when it's happening. I know a lot of people that haven't gotten their second dose, and
Yeah.
they got the first like a month ago.
See, I was really lucky because I work in healthcare. So
Oh, you were one of the first ones, yeah, I remember.
I was one of the absolute first people just because of my like line of work. Which also to everyone in chat, I apologize. That's been a huge issue on why we haven't been back. I've been extremely busy at work lately.
I also been weirdly busy for the first time in over a year.
Ooh, guys, I think this is a sign that COVID's finally coming to an end. We're almost
Fucking
there,
hope.
guys. We're doing it. We're getting there.
Okay, so I have some grievances with America that I need to earn.
Alright, I've been waiting for this. Let's hear these
Okay,
grievances.
First of all, what the fuck is up with carpeting? Why is good wood so bad for you?
Okay, no.
What's
so
the point?
this is something I'm genuinely curious about on why, like, because I've never actually thought about it. Like, do you guys not have carpet down there?
That I remember, I've only ever been to one house in Mexico that actually had American style carpeting.
Yeah, man, because, like, I'm thinking about it, and, like, I have a carpet in my room. I didn't put it in, it's just in there. But it's like, even at my mom's house, like, we had some rooms would be hardwood, and then some rooms have carpet.
Mine are hardwood and marble.
Okay, so I think at least where I live, right? So, like, the reason we have carpet is because it's always really cold here.
Yeah, that's
So that's
what
really
I
it's
heard.
really helpful, yeah. But like I
That's
don't
what I heard.
in like hot places, I don't think carpet makes sense.
But also,
like if it's warm.
I'm pretty sure all other cold places like Norway and shit, they have wood floors.
Yeah, okay, but they also swim under fucking ice.
I mean,
Like
dude. Also, it's fucking gross. I don't know what kind of shit
It's
is
gross?
the carpet. I can see whatever is on my floor. When I'm on a carpet, I don't know what's in between it. I don't know what's inside of it.
don't you just vacuum?
I don't have to vacuum. I have a wooden floor. I vacuum like once a month.
Okay, so I mean like I vacuum like once a week. But like it's really not
It's
like my
just
thing is I'm
very
like
weird to me.
like in my okay, so my thing too is like dust and stuff, right? It gets trapped in my carpet, so it's not always like up in the air, like dust and like dirt and shit. It gets trapped in the carpet. Where like if you have hardwood, you guys can like kick up dirt in the air and it makes you breathe it in more.
I mean, it looks cooler.
Yeah, carpet catches everything and then you vacuum it up.
I mean, but it stays there if you don't.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's why you
And
vacuum.
if you have a dog, that's fucking disgusting.
What difference is it than a dog being on your furniture?
A lot. Because if a dog pees in your floor and it's a wooden floor, you can just mop it up.
Yeah, and if
If
a dog
it's in
pees
a
on
carpet,
your floor
it
here,
just fucking stays there.
no, you shampoo it.
Why? Who the fuck shampoos his floor?
Everybody in America has a shampooer.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
fucking weirdos.
no, like it's literally so. Like what you do is you shampoo the carpet. Like you
I mean,
have a
so you
machine.
don't
It
have
literally looks.
special
Most of our
carpeting
vacuum
cleaner?
cleaners have a shampooer built into it. Like they're two in ones. They shampoo your carpet and they vacuum it.
Why would you do that? What? It's
'Cause it's
weird that
easier
you have
than-
to
It's
shampoo
easier
the
than
floor.
mopping your floor. It's easier than
It is.
mopping.
It is most definitely not.
It most definitely is. What's
It's
easier,
so
vacuum?
weird.
What's easier, vacuuming or mopping?
Mopping. You just
I
flop-
disagree.
You move it around a couple of seconds and you are done.
You
It's
don't know.
clean.
You mop wrong. That bothers
I
me.
mop every day.
You scrub? Do you scrub mop or do you just do
I-
the? Like, you scrub
I
mop, right?
cool water. I move water around.
I would never hire you in my restaurant ever. There
I
is
know.
no way. Yeah, you would never work in a restaurant that I work. No, that's not how you. That's not mopping though. That's just like damping your floor. Like mopping,
I
like
do
you
it
gotta
to clean
scrub
dog
mop.
pee.
So yeah. See and that's you just shampoo it. Cause what you're doing is you're mixing the pee in with water and then you're just spreading it across your
They
floor.
live outside and I throw it down a
How do I mop? I scrub
A
mop.
hole.
So what you do is so you put the bucket in, right? And then so I will literally push the mop and then pull the mop in the same spot, right? But it's applying constant pressure while I'm doing it. You're scrubbing the floor. You're not just dragging the water across. You scrub. You actually got to put some oomph into it. Otherwise, because all the dirt and stuff just stays there. If you get it wet, it's like taking a dish, right? When you're washing dishes and just holding it underneath the running water and then calling it clean. No, that's not fucking clean. You gotta scrub the dish. It's just like your floor. Like, you gotta scrub the floor with your mop. Oh, yeah. That's how you mop. That's mopping 101.
I mean,
Roasted.
I mop outside. I have
There's
a
your
little
DK.
hole in the floor, and I
Yeah.
just move water to it.
To a drain?
Yeah. Oh fuck, the word is drain. Yeah. Because my dog lives outside, and I have to kill in their pee.
Okay, see, but okay, so I guess that's a different.
Yeah,
No, you
add
had
soap to the water. That's
Yeah.
that's what I do. Not
Yeah, and then
fucking
you
shampoo.
scrub it, and then you scrub it.
You don't add shampoo to it.
That's all shampooing is you mix soap into water, and then it vacuums your carpet.
Okay,
Essentially,
you
and
had me
shampoos it.
thinking you actually used.
No, not like hair
Shampoo.
shampoo. No, so a shampooer.
Okay,
the
okay,
machine's called a shampooer, but it's just
I was
soap.
actually thinking you use shampoo.
No, so it's like regular soap, and it's just a machine that the reason it shampoos it is it soaks it, it rinses it, and it dries it all in one go. Like, that's what a shampooer
Okay.
does. So you and it's built like a vacuum cleaner. So as it goes over the carpet, yeah, that's the biggest downfall to it. But it also does. There are a lot of shampooers will dry it afterwards, so it's really not damp or wet. There are some though that you have to stay off the carpet afterwards until it dries. That is the thing
Carpeting is
sometimes.
insane. Carpeting, I don't vibe with it.
Okay, so don't get me wrong. A lot of people pissed me off because, like, a thing that's happening around a lot lately is people are tearing up their carpets around here, and like it really bothers me when I see like pristine, really nice fucking hardwood that was like covered up in shag rag. That pisses me off. Don't get me wrong, but if it's just like
And,
really
I mean,
shitty,
just you know how Americans, all their floor is covered by like this weird rough carpet. That's what I'm talking about.
okay, you guys ready to see DK's floor? This is gonna be scuffed for a second, but we'll show it. So like this kind of carpeting. That's my carpet. See,
I mean, and look at my floor. That's just wood.
yeah. So, yeah. See, so like, that's my thing is like, I have the carpeting, and it's like it's probably like each of those little strands. They're like half an inch probably. So it's like it can be big. Like after I shampoo and vacuum my carpet, it like looks like grass basically.
I have the same carpet in my room.
Yeah.
Yeah, every American says the same. Imagine dragging a chair around that, the wheel would get stuck. Yeah, also.
I don't get
I don't
stuck
know.
at all.
It's just weird to me. I just don't understand it. I mean, if you tell me it's because of the cold, I'll trust you.
Yeah,
But it's
because
fucking Texas.
okay, so that's my thing is like, especially where I live, where it's cold at night, dude. It's fucking nice because like when I have to go piss at 2 a.m, I'm not freezing my ass off trying to run there because the carpet's all fucking warm. My feet stay all like warm and cozy, like, and I don't gotta put socks on. That's the other thing. If I had hardwood floors, I would have to put on socks, and then I'm gonna slip and fall on my
I don't live with
ass.
socks. And Mexico City gets cold.
Yep, it's just
I just
weird.
suck it up. I'm just built different.
Yeah, that's just it. I guess. I guess it could be weird, but to me like carpet's normal.
And to me, it's abnormal.
But imagine all the dirt in my floor. No, there's not, because I vacuum. That's why we vacuum, because the vacuum cleaner sucks it all out.
It's just weird to me.
What do you
Fucking
guys?
weird.
So in your guys' vacuum cleaners, do you guys have the weird like Velcro rolling thing in the front?
No, we just use the normal like nozzle thing. It's like a big tube. That's what we use.
Wait. Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah, I think I do.
Where it's like
I think
so,
they come with them. I think
yeah,
most
so it's like a
vacuums
circle.
come with them.
It's like a circle, and then it has like a Velcro.
like a little brush.
Yeah, and it rolls. That's to pull all the dirt and the shit up out of the carpet with the suction, the air suction. So
I
it
think
breaks
mine
up.
had
It
it,
breaks up the
but-
dirt in the carpet, and then it sucks it up.
But I think people generally here don't know what it's for. Like they get that attachment for it.
Yeah.
And they don't know what it is.
No, wait. Attachment. Wait, is your vacuum cleaner just a hose?
It's a box with a hose. It's a little blue box with wheels, and a hose.
So you guys use shop vacs for everything.
Ye-
So that's what
I
we
do.
we call that a shop vac. So like I would use one of those if I worked like I would have that out in my garage if I like saw like if I work with
I
sawdust
mean,
things like
you
that.
can also get an attachment that turns it into like a broom thing. Like you just
Ours
it
is no ours we push it on the ground. Like it's a stand up thing and you push it and it has a bag.
yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, that's what you use for carpet. That's what we use. We don't
just
we don't have a shop
use a
vac
shop
like
vac.
that. Yeah, your shop vac that would be so much more of a pain in the ass than the push vacuum. A push vacuum is just like mowing your lawn. Like it's not hard
then
at
you
all.
just put it in the corner and just move the hose around.
That's I've never thought about that. That's actually kind of crazy, dude.
Yeah, I. You want to say it? It's like
Because like we have like our hose is on the side of our vacuum that stands up.
Wait, let me show it to you. It's
All right.
right next to me.
Chat, mine is like right around the corner too. We're grabbing vacuums real quick.
This is my vacuum.
This is us turned it. Okay, this is my vacuum. Like yeah, yours is a shop vac. So look, like I have the hose thingy too. Like we have one built into ours. So I can do the hose thing like you do in the corners and the sides and everything. But like ours also has the other part, which is this. Which is the little spinny blade thing that I was talking about.
I mean, and we don't have to use it that much.
See, because that's it. I just
Is this a
push
shop
mine
vac?
around.
Is this what you call a shop vac?
Yeah, I call that a shop vac. That's not this is a vacuum. That's a shop vac.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's way nicer than a shop vac.
Okay,
I mean-
so to be fair, that's like a nicer, smaller, compact to what I would consider a true shop vac. Because like for me, like a shop
have a
vac
smaller
is
one.
shop vacs are
That's an old one.
huge. Yeah, shop vacs are fucking pretty fucking beefy normally, but yeah, no, that's cool but crazy to me.
Yeah.
But I've never thought about that. I guess yeah, and I'm curious if that's the only reason we have carpet, other than just like the fact that people in the '60s thought that they looked good, even though they're fucking hideous.
They are hideous.
Like that, I will give you guys. Carpet is a functionality thing. It's not for how it looks. The function of it is nice,
Yeah.
but it looks fucking hideous. Carpet, I think carpet's really ugly. Like,
Okay. I also have another couple of grievances. What the fuck is up with iced tea?
I don't drink tea, so that's the hard thing for me. Like, I don't drink tea at all. And
I
then
drink
like
a lot of tea. Like a lot of it.
so, and the other thing too is that like Loki, I don't want to say anything bad about iced tea right now because fucking the people in Texas like they are die hard behind their tea.
Okay, that's what I'm telling you. I went to have breakfast like in 4 different places while I was there. All 4 times I asked for tea.
They give
3
you
of
sweet
the
iced
times
tea.
they brought me iced tea.
Yeah,
What
sweet,
the fuck?
and it was probably super sweet, huh? Sweet iced tea.
I mean, it just tasted like, yeah, two times were super sweet. In a Mexican restaurant, it just tasted like normal cold tea. But what the fuck is up with that?
So
I mean, what is wrong with normal tea?
So I think like it's because of how hot it is there that they always do. It's always iced because normally you don't want a hot drink
Dude,
there.
India is fucking hot, and they invented tea.
Yeah, and see, that's just a southern thing too. Like that's like Texas, Louisiana, like those southern states down there. They're really big about iced tea. But like honestly, the big thing too is like where I live in Washington State, like we don't fucking drink tea. We drink coffee. Anywhere you go, you're getting fucking coffee. You don't get tea here. Like, you have to actually, like, go out and search for tea here. But you can find a fucking coffee shop on every corner. So, yeah, that's the hard thing with us is just, like, no, we're just, like, and see, I disagree with that. I don't think tea is as good as coffee.
Dude, it's way better.
I think tea is, in some ways, healthier, but...
It also tastes better.
No, it doesn't.
Also, personal thing, coffee triggered my anxiety. That's just like a thing that happens to me. So I don't drink coffee. But also,
Not gonna argue with that. That does happen to some people, so...
the couple of times that I've had coffee, it led to anxiety attacks. It tastes horrible. Tea tastes like fucking godly.
See... That's okay. So this is a big conversation I've had with friends in real life too. Because I personally, I don't like tea. I've tried like 60 different kinds of tea, and I've never liked any of them. But you could give me coffee.
Tea bland. Coffee literally just tasted like bitter. Coffee tastes like bitter.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Well, no, there's a taste to it once you get past the bitterness. Like, so my thing is like, so the reason I think that like people here are so addicted to coffee, right, is yes, what Anti-Love said, bad coffee is bitter like that. And then also bad coffee can be super fucking sweet. If coffee's super sweet, that's bad coffee. That's not good coffee. You have to have the blend between the two.
Yeah, unsweetened tea. That's the way to go.
But like, see, my thing is I'm like, I've tried different blends of tea. I've tried other than that. It always just tastes like I'm drinking fucking roots. Every time. Doesn't matter what you're mixing it. You can give me jade lavender tea. You can give me like mint citrus tea. It's like anything you give me, at the end of the day, it just tastes like I boiled roots in a pot.
Okay, also, that's the thing. I believe bad coffee tastes worse than bad tea. It's easier to get coffee back.
No. Because, like, my thing is that I can tell you, my thing is that, like, you can give me bad tea, and then you can give me good tea. I can tell the two apart, but they're both bad. Like, my thing, and, like, but my thing is, like, when you get bad tea, it's ass. Like, it's, like, I would rather be, like, there's a lot of things I would rather drink than bad like, yeah, exactly. Like, that's the other thing. Burnt tea. Like, if you burn coffee, yeah, it's bad. If you burn tea, it's fucking terrible.
It's impossible to burn tea. Who the fuck fucks up tea?
You can burn tea.
I know you can, but who does it?
People who don't drink tea. Like, Americans. Yeah. Like,
white people.
But yeah, no. Antelov is right. I'm actually like I really dislike tea. And like I think I'm like so against tea at this point is because I've tried I've given tea so many fucking chances. Like, so many times have I been like, all right, I'm going to give it a tea. Somebody's told me, you know what? You might have had a bunch of shitty tea. This tea is going to be the tea. And then we go and I try their favorite tea, and it still just tastes like shitty root water. Like, I'll take my shitty bean water over shitty root water all day. Like,
leaf water is better than bean water.
No. And that's the thing too.
Yeah,
is like,
I'm sure that's an American thing.
A lot of people tell me that coffee tastes like dirt. Tea tastes like dirt. Like, tea tastes like dirt and roots. Like, it's
this
like,
conversation is very upsetting to me.
I apologize, but like, honestly,
I'm
like,
extremely triggered.
I feel like people that like tea are the same people that would like, you could give them a root from a tree and say, if you chew on this, it's good for antioxidants, and they're gonna do it. Like, personal opinion. Yeah, but yeah, no, my coffee million times.
Genetic thing like cilantro, it might be.
I don't
People
know,
with
man.
fish.
I think it's a taste buds thing.
People were
Yep. This is
Matt tea hate stream.
Dylan roasting tea night. We're spilling the tea on tea.
Yo, that's a great. Right, let me write that down. That's a great title for the YouTube video.
But yeah, guys, I don't know what it is. And like the other thing too is like I don't get it too because like because I've tried so many that I don't like. When I see people that are passionate about it, I'm like, why? Like how? Why are you so passionate about tea? Because I don't get what it is about tea that people are like, oh my god, it's amazing.
It is because it is amazing. Also, I kind of can't. I'm a bad judge because coffee does kind of fuck me up.
See, my thing is I'm like, with coffee too, like, I don't know, man, because like I feel like there's just so many more ways to prepare coffee than there are tea.
Oh, dude, come on. Tea, you have so many different kinds of tea.
Yeah, but coffee,
compared
there's
to,
so
like,
many different
one
ways you can.
coffee.
No, there's not one coffee. Oh, there's so many different. Oh,
Dude, you just have
oh.
coffee beans.
And all you have are tea leaves mixed with other fucking things.
No, but you also have a million different kinds of tea leaves. And they all
Yeah,
taste
I mean,
different.
there's a
Like,
million
these taste-
there's a million
every
different types of
tastes
coffee beans.
Slightly different.
No, because
All
there
beans
are
are
light
superior
roast.
to leaves.
There's like light roast versus dark roast. Like a Belgium tea, like a Belgium coffee is a lot darker, more bitter brew than if you get like a lighter fucking brew from like a lot of places in the U.S. have light brew coffee where the beans are different than other places, and that comes in the flavor, the consistency, the textures, how much caffeine content they have. It all varies in the different places that you grow your beans and how they're grown and the nutrients that they're getting from it. Like, and my thing too is I'm like, if tea is so fucking good, why are y'all mixing in mango, lavender, mint, lemon? Why you need all
Because
that
that's-
extra shit to make it better?
That's part of it. That's the charm of it. You can do whatever the fuck you want when you're doing tea.
And also, all right, here's you want to know the real slam dunk on why coffee's better than tea?
Okay, throw it at me.
What's the best alcoholic drink that tea's got? Because I got Bailey's with my coffee every fucking day over here.
I mean, there's not one because
Exactly.
That's fucking insane.
No, it's not. That's the thing. Coffee can even be an alcoholic beverage and be fucking beautiful and fantastic and tasty. You mix alcohol with tea and it's just even more shitty. It just gets worse.
I mean, to be fair, I can't drink coffee, so I'm gonna trust you on that.
Yep, it's the truth, man. Like, cause
I
like
mean,
there's
like
Bailey's.
four times I had coffee in the morning, all 4 times led to a panic
So
attack.
here's the thing. So have you had rum chata? You know rum chata, right?
Yes, sir.
Rum chata is the best mixer with coffee. You mix rum chata into your coffee, and it's the best fucking thing in the world. Like it blend like coffee because my thing is like tea is a combination of flavors. It's multiple flavors that make up tea. With coffee, coffee is its own flavor that you can then use as basically an ingredient with other things to enhance and elevate it. Where
mean,
tea is always it relies on being elevated
the
by
only
other
way
things.
I consume tea to this day, there's this beverage, this kind of sweetie, weird liquor we have called liquor de 43, licor de 43, and you mix it with coffee. That's the only way I had coffee in like the last 2 years. It's
And
pretty
it was
good.
exactly.
I just have it.
See, maybe that's my whole thing. Is it's my inner
I
alcoholic
have no
American.
caffeine, that's it, but we call it carajillo. It's pretty good. Tea wakes me up. Tea is fucking great.
Yeah, coffee's like coffee. I think that like we measure like caffeine based on espresso shots here. Like it's an equivalent to an espresso shot of coffee.
Yeah, you've
like
heard
caffeine's like coffee is like a scale. Like it's where you judge other things because it's so much caffeine.
All those
Like,
white
that's the
people, all
wake-up
those white
thing.
girls at Starbucks kids.
Starbucks is ass.
Yeah, but
I live in Washington State, and that's what we're known for.
yeah,
Starbucks.
that was gonna say you're from
It's not
you're
good
from
coffee.
Washington.
Yeah, it's not. Starbucks is not good coffee. Like, I will be the first person to scream that from the rooftops. Starbucks
Okay.
Starbucks is D tier coffee. Starbucks is one step ahead of McDonald's coffee. That's where it falls.
Starbucks sucks.
Yeah, like it's like McDonald's coffee, Jack in the Box coffee, Starbucks. and then anything else. Like that's like the tier rating for coffee.
McDonald's coffee is better. I've had McDonald's coffee. It just tastes like water.
Man, the only reason I'm gonna disagree with Antelope on that is I used to work at McDonald's and made coffee in the mornings, and they let that shit sit on the burner for like 6 hours. McDonald's
It tastes
coffee
like
is always
water.
burnt. It's always burnt. So that's why it's like. But to be fair, like that's the thing is that I would rather have burnt coffee than Starbucks coffee because I would rather my coffee be bitter and burnt than be sweet and sugary. Like I think it's the opposite. I think Starbucks is really sweet. If you get any blended drink from Starbucks, it's like overloaded with sugar. And then yeah, I guess if you get just their coffee, it's super fucking bitter, and that's why they have to use all that sweetener and anything fucking else. I don't get sweet
I
anything.
don't get sweet anything.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I
my
don't
thing is
sweeten my tea too.
like my big thing is like if I'm not drinking black coffee, yeah, if I real coffee, yeah, like if I'm not drinking black coffee, I'll get a white chocolate hazelnut, which is pretty sweet, but it's still like if made correctly, it still has the bitter kick to it with the sweetness. Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah,
Over here, it's either burnt or with 1 pound of sugar. I always get super sugary drink in Starbucks, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
that's Starbucks universally. It's always like yeah, it's either burnt or super sugar loaded.
Yeah. So one last grievance I have.
All right.
Your drinking age is fucking twisted.
Yeah, it's 21.
Why? I know it's because Michael Jackson and I've seen like a mini documentary on it. Michael Jackson and Reagan, but why?
That's
Why is
one. That's one you're preaching to the choir on. Like
Why is that?
we
still a thing?
always yell. Well, because like okay, so the big thing with most of us, yeah, the argument Anti-Love just made right there. That's
Yeah,
our
exactly.
as civilians, like just your random people, like the civilians, the non-government employees, like the people that are not like in head government. That's our big thing. Is that it's like if we can go and die in fucking war, why can't we drink? I personally, I think our drinking age should be 18. I'm okay with
Ours
18.
is 18.
Yeah, and like some arguments I've seen is like there are some places that it's like 16, and like I would even be okay with 19. I'm like if we followed Canada's suit and we went 19,
Shit.
yep, and like that's my thing is I'm like even if we followed suit of Canada and we did 19, that's better. It's a step in the right direction at least. But yeah, I think the fact that it's 21 is outrageous. And to be fair though, to be fair. We people here we drink at 15 fucking universally everywhere. Like everyone drinks before you're 21. But you also got to remember our country, like our whole government system is based to put people in poverty and keep them there. So
course.
it's a lot easier to do that when you get busted at 15, 16, even at 19, 20 with for an alcohol charge. Guess what? Instantly in the system can instantly be kept in poverty. So
Yeah.
that's where the real issue on it lies.
I mean, it's super weird for me because I'm 18. In Mexico, it's 18. I'm 19.
yeah,
And you can drink here at 18. Of course, people drink like from 14. But it's so weird to me that I can just go to the next country
yeah.
and just can't drink.
Loki. So I know a lot of people here in Washington that they used to drive up to Canada and drink, and
Oh,
they
yeah,
would go
I've
drink
heard
up in
that.
Canada. Yeah, because
That's
it's
what
like
happens in the border between Texas and Mexico too.
yeah, because that's like our thing here is that like oh it says your camera's froze.
Yeah, let me fix it.
Technical difficulty.
Keep
We'll be
talking.
there in a second, guys. But like Canada for us it's like a 5-hour drive tops, and that's if they're being really slow at the border, which happens a lot of the time. But like, yeah, you go up there for a weekend and you could drink at 19, not have to worry about catching any sort of charge, and then you come home. But also in the opposite direction, I know a lot of people in Canada that come down to the U.S. to buy cigarettes. So
Are cigarettes?
they're
allowed?
heavily fucking taxed in Canada.
Oh,
Yeah. So like but to be fair too, like where we live is a bit different too, because it's like I pay $4, like I pay $4.35 for a pack of cigarettes, where you drive 30 minutes east from me, and you're paying $10 a pack of cigarettes. So yeah, but like I only pay $4.35 for a pack. So it's like cigarettes are insanely cheap where I live, but it's like there's a lot of places, even in the U.S., where they're overly expensive. Our thing is just in Washington State, we have deals with our native tribes here. So all the tribal areas for the Native Americans, they don't have to. They can sell alcohol and tobacco, and they don't have to pay the tax on it.
That's also very weird to me. The way Native Americans work in America, they just like their own thing. That's very weird to me because
Somewhat.
between in Mexico they mixed with the Spanish.
So my thing is that like it's really hard here. It's really weird because like I I personally like where I stand on the whole subject is that like we still restrict them way too much. We put too many restrictions on them.
I know you.
And it's
like,
fucking it's exactly it's ass backwards. Where it's
and
like
I know the reason for like that specific issue.
yeah, but like it's just like it's so weird to me because it's like even like where I live, it's like it's such a weird delicate topic because like I live 30 minutes away from a tribe like the Quinault tribe, and so it's like my grandparents and everyone they grew up in Lake Quinault on the tribe, and so when they were when like I was like a young kid, we used to have full access. Like we could go onto the lake, even as non-tribal members. We could go on the lake. We could swim in the lake. We could do a lot of that thing. But like when I think it was in 2014, they passed a law making it so you had to be a tribal member to go into the lake. And like my thing is, I'm like, well, yeah, that's fine because we were abusing it. We weren't taking care of it. We would leave trash and shit, and we disrespected it.
What the tribe wanted that? Like it was something that the tribe promoted.
The tribe, yeah. So what happened was it used to be that anyone could go out and access the lake on tribal property, but
the
then
tribe asked for it to be
they
just for them.
no they just changed it. They just changed the laws on it because it's on tribal land, and they made it so you had to be a tribal member to be in the water.
I've seen that
and a lot of people here,
reservations work like their own thing, like their own
yeah,
countries and their own
most
states.
of them, yeah, a lot of them are here. So like
They have right to self-determination.
Yeah, so the big thing, especially around here, that gets talked about a lot is that like our police don't have jurisdiction on tribal lands, so
That's why
we can't they have their own police unit.
Isn't there like a huge issue that they get horrible abuse from a lot of people because of that kind of thing?
I'm not informed enough to know.
I've heard that
so the one that
Native
I know,
women
that's the big thing is Native women go missing, get murdered way too often, and
that's fucking sad.
My big issue with it is that we don't, because the tribal lands have their own police force. It's so weird with how they interact. 9 out of 10 times, like my town Hoquiam here, we would like so it's weird because like here in Hoquiam and Aberdeen, we would jump to it. We would assist like Quinault. I truly believe that like my community's police department would help. A lot of places in the United States, there's a lot of tension. They want nothing.
They wouldn't.
Yeah, and they want nothing to do with it, and they'll sweep it under the rug. And there's so many tribes here that it's not bad at all. And that's a big thing too. Is like where we live in Washington. Like I feel like Washington, like we're headed in the right direction with it, but like we still have a long way to go, in my personal opinion. But I do think it's a little bit better than most places in the U.S.
Like
that I can't speak about. Yeah, because like I haven't seen nor do I know like firsthand about. All I know is where I live, and from what I know, it seems like where I live, we're a lot further ahead than a lot of people, and that's where it is. The Midwest is where I hear.
I'm sure it is. From what I know about the American Midwest, I'm sure it is.
And like the big pipeline, that's the big thing that blew up a couple years ago. That was completely fucked up.
It's a lot of pipelines. I think it's not only that one.
And yeah, no, and that's my thing too. Is I'm like, we've already taken so much land. We should have no say in what they do with the little land we left them with. Because to be fair, in my opinion, they should have a lot more fucking land than us, and they should be able. They should have a lot more say in the country as a fucking whole than we actually give them.
Let me tell you,
that should be a joint governmental thing.
Because when the Spanish came, they race mixed. So they came and they mixed with the native people. So the main native tribes, there's still some people, like some native people, but most people have some Spanish blood in them. So the native people are just like part of states.
Okay,
They're
but
just like
so when
people that live in states.
So when the Spanish came, though, were you guys peaceful with the natives there, or was it still like big war?
Oh, the Spanish just kind of came and killed them. But
Okay.
after like the big conquest, they just like were like, okay, you can, if you believe in God, you can stay here. And of course they had them like as
Okay.
workers slash slaves. But they did end up mixing with them. That's why most people are like not completely brown, like
Yeah.
light brown, because they
See,
race mixed.
And that's what was different with us is like
Yeah, they were merciless too. At the beginning, they were fucking merciless.
Yeah, and like
They just came in and murdered every leader, and
and
they
like
turned
our
down
thing
the
is like,
monuments and shit.
and we did so much underhanded bullshit with our natives. We've always disrespected them, and like the big thing that sticks here, man, that like they really gloss over in school is the Trail of Tears, where we used to fucking like all those types of things. And I think now that I think about it, but like there's things like that where it's like we beyond tortured them. Like like that's like the things in our country, our history. Like we were fucking ruthless to a lot of
You know what the Spanish used to do?
cultures.
They would burn feet until you talked.
Yeah, I
But
don't. I genuinely don't even want to know what we used to do. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
horrible.
should, but like, it's things that like, because like the other thing that's so messed up about the U.S. is our school system. We don't talk
Oh,
about. We very much
The
so. We
whole-
don't talk about what we did wrong,
The whole
but we
critical race
teach
theory
everyone
thing,
about
it's
what
been,
we
like, a
did
huge
right.
thing recently.
Yeah, and it's like everything. It was like very skewed to
Oh, no,
make
I
us
know they
seem
were ruthless
good.
all the time, but at some point they just like enslaved them and didn't torture them as much. They just like, okay, I'm gonna fucking. Well, they tortured them, but they just at some point they had kids with them. I know they raped them and shit. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
We don't. We learned a little bit more about it than you guys, but also not a lot.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. My thing is like, I would be really curious. What I would love to do is I would love to learn every country's history from other countries' perspectives. Like, because I
Oh.
feel like that's how you would get the most
Do you want to
legit.
hate your
Like,
country? Learn from it about us.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, and
Oh,
like
yeah,
not even
I-
you guys, but like I would
Right,
want to
I
go.
know most people that had children from Spanish. There were kids from what we know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that that I'm just like, but like, and even then, like, back to what I was talking about with like our lake. Even here, like when the natives said like, because to be fair, a lot of us like we disrespected the lake when we were out there. We would leave trash, we'd leave all that shit, and they would have to clean it. So it's like when they ended up finally saying, you know what, fuck it, like no, you guys are not allowed on the lake anymore. People were in Hoquiam, which is like a town 30 minutes outside the tribe, were livid. And like I've like, although like, yeah, it kind of sucks that I can't go back to the lake I used to when I was a kid. I get it, man, and like it's something I personally I'm not upset
Yeah, of
about because I
course.
get it. But it's like so many people I see like they don't want to take the time to look at their perspective. They just want to be pissed about it now
Yeah, of
because
course.
they don't get
I
what they want.
understand. Like, people have a right to be upset. A lot of people hate the Spanish, like in Mexico, and I understand it. They fucking came, raped, enslaved. I genuinely believe slavery is the worst thing humanity has made,
Yep.
and they came and did that. They raped their children. I understand the hate.
And I mean,
I know where they come from.
and like
But
that's
in
the thing
Mexico,
that,
it's
like,
super different because the tribes are just mixed between Mexico. They're not like their own thing.
And that's something like I really hope that our generation in our lifetimes are going to be able to help fix. Is because even today, slavery is still kind of a thing. It still exists everywhere. We've just
Oh yeah, in
rebranded.
prison.
We just
you,
we
you have
rebranded.
firefighters from prison that made like 2 cents an hour.
Yeah, yeah, man. And that's the thing, dude. Is it's like we just
Yeah,
slap a new
exactly. The
name on it and
point is-
rebrand it.
The point when your country has done horrible shit, and every country has done horrible shit, but some are more horrible than others.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Is like the thing I don't like about the United States, in my personal opinion, about how our government and how our society is ran, is as someone who has studied history very closely, we are literally pace for pace on point with Rome. Our people are becoming very ignorant, but very arrogant, and that's what's eventually going to lead to our collapse. And like it's
like,
coming a
let's say
hell of a lot faster than we realize.
like let us say the point of it is to remember and to like think about it so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and that's
Like
the thing.
Germany,
Is that we're too
Germany-
arrogant.
I think the country that does it best, Germany has an amazing way to like treat their horrible history, because they know they did it,
And they know
And they're-
they know it was wrong.
and they know it's fucking wrong, but they enforce against it. They teach about it, but they also like are sure to we did this. It's horrible. We shouldn't do it again.
And like
I know most countries. I know the Spanish also teach a little bit about that, about how they a little bit whitewashed, a little like it wasn't that bad. They just kind of, but they still kind of talk about how they mistreated us, and I know that's not a thing in the U.S. The
Yeah.
fucking critical race theory. I've heard about that a lot. It's just teaching about history, and people think it's just racism.
yeah, and like that's just it. And like the hard thing too is that like our country we fuck ourselves over on how we deal with things, because it's like not only do we have racism tearing us apart right now, but there's also this weird wealth inequality that's ripping us apart even worse, and like it's to the point too where it all blends together now too. So it's like it's a complex fucking mess, and that's the thing too, is that nobody here wants to talk about it. We don't care.
Exactly.
We would rather sweep it under the rug and act like we're not.
I mean, and since we're close, we get most news you guys get about. So we get a lot of news about America, and I've seen that.
Yeah, and that's like,
Some people just refuse to acknowledge what happened.
well, yeah, and like that's the big thing is, yeah, it's because it's easier to ignore it than to actually
Yeah,
confront
it's
it.
easier to live. You're like, oh yeah, I live in a country. It's a beautiful country, the best country in the world. Nothing
we're
has
not.
happened. Nothing will happen.
Yeah, we're nowhere near that. Like we are not even close. Because like my thing
Yeah,
is, I'm
exactly.
like there's this thing that was on TV that like it surfaces on Facebook and everything, but it was like this dude in a lecture in like a college lecture, and somebody asked him like, what makes America the greatest country in the world?
Yeah,
And
I've seen
like,
that clip.
yeah, I love it because like honestly, there's statistically no backing that
Yeah, exactly.
proves that we are, other than
Of
the
course.
fact that we beat our chest and we
And
say we are.
Let me tell you this.
Like,
As a Mexican, I grew up thinking that.
yeah, everybody
I
in the
grew
world
up-
does. Like,
But
it's
the
perpetual.
more I've been walking through life and learning, I've just realized that's very much not true.
So if I had to honestly like,
I mean, looking at it,
If I
objectively,
said-
it's not a great country. It's a terrible country with a Gucci belt. I mean, Mexico fucking sucks too, but we kind of just admit it.
you know, and like the hard thing too is I'm like looking around the world. It's like if I had to say what's the best country, I'm probably in a tie between Sweden. There's a lot of European countries are really solid, but
Yeah, I mean,
probably
I-
Sweden, Norway, and probably Singapore. I put Singapore way up
I
there.
genetically lean to Norway. I also would say Japan. Besides the racism,
My thing, Japan is. I don't want to
Japan
offend
is
nobody.
kind of hyper-capitalistic.
Yes,
in
that's
kind of
that's
weird
my
way.
thing. Yeah, like, but exactly, theirs is like in a weird, different way. And like the hard thing too is like,
Yeah, class
it's,
inequality in Japan is also.
that's exactly what it is in my opinion. Because like my thing too, though, what's weird is like there is so much beautiful culture in Japan that it's
That's
kind of
the
like
way I can put it.
it's like yeah, it's hard like because they're very similar to how I view the U.S. And the aspect is we have a lot of very beautiful distractions, but when you actually get down under the surface, there's a lot of things that aren't
And
how it should
let me
be.
tell you what I think the main problem with Japan's history is. Their whole like culture about having honor and family and things like that. The way capitalism just took that and made it like, oh yeah, you have to work all your life, you have to do this shit. They just appropriated their own way,
And
way
that's
of being.
that's the
and
hard thing.
Turn them
believe
into
that
like being into an office 24 hours.
like because my thing is I'm like before, I think when you look back at history, going like dating way back, out of all like, I would rather go back to feudal Japan than I would go back to the exact same time frame in Europe. Like I think they did things better
Yeah,
and
but
more intelligently back then.
mental health is also a huge issue in
That is
Norway,
true.
Sweden. In the Nordic countries, it's also a huge problem. It's like I think it has the biggest suicide rates, Norway
Yeah.
and Sweden, because people
We're up
generally
there.
don't have
The
anything
U.S.
to do.
The U.S. is highly up there though too.
Yeah, but I think in most like happiness index, Sweden tends to be number one, but they also have one of the biggest suicide rates.
Yeah,
It's super weird.
I do think I do believe Japan's at the
Yeah,
top.
Japan is the highest
That-
around exams. When they have university exams, a lot of teenagers kill themselves
Yeah.
because they can get into university.
Well, and
their family like fucking
I
sends
think
them away.
I'm pretty sure they're like middle-aged male demographic has like an insanely higher number than most countries.
Yeah,
Like,
they have
for middle-aged
But I
men.
think the biggest one for them is young people.
Yeah, I do believe it's younger, but I believe
Because they
I
have a
believe
lot
I
of
do read
pressure.
that there was something in that demographic as well that was pretty high.
Yeah, because middle-aged Japanese men and women are super lonely.
Yeah, and like
That's the-
that's
that's the problem with the loneliness.
unfortunately because of, and that has to do with just how like everything they had with the child
Yeah, that's
laws.
because of the
That's the aftermath of that. Yeah, but like
men's suicide rates are usually highest. Yeah, around the world, men's suicide rates are way higher.
yeah, my biggest thing is like when I look around the world though. If I was going to move to another country, there's only like 2 or 3 I would genuinely consider, and Thailand's probably at the top of the list.
I've been to Thailand. It's beautiful, but it's also like very the inequality in it is also very high.
Yeah, there's something about the culture in Buddhist countries that just is very appealing to me.
I also
It's
a
very
lot of
peaceful
know
and like
some Thai people. They're the nicest people I've met.
yeah, and that's what I think is like I feel like their culture is just more like they're in it together than like here.
Yeah,
Because like we're
they're
the
just-
opposite type in my mind in the U.S. where our wealth inequality is a huge gap, but we're against each other, not in it together. Like
yeah, you don't help thy neighbor, like they say.
we ignore thy neighbor more often than not. So
Yeah, I think I would still consider moving to Japan just because I know like the way I live. I could like fit into it.
this is
and
the
know-
only that's the only reason I can move to Japan. Their weed laws are insane. Like fucking Japan and China, their weed laws are insane.
I also kind of ancestrally I want to live in Norway at some point.
I think I think Norway and them would DK with the priorities. I just know myself, and I know that would be the best like mental thing for me. But honestly, I wouldn't mind going to the Wales because I found out that I'm Welsh, and I don't really know much about my my
Polish,
history.
right?
So I was adopted into a Polish family. My dad was adopted in.
yeah, right.
And I'm very, don't get me wrong, I'm very like into the Polish culture and community. Like I know, like I feel like a Polak. I will always be a
Okay.
Polak, even though biologically I'm not a Polak.
I also know Poland has a couple of issues with neo-Nazism. That's
Yeah.
like the biggest problem.
that Polish people, we are very loud, we are very brash, and we are not very intelligent. I will throw that out there immediately. But there are a lot of beautiful things about because I grew up like with my grandma, like with my dad's side of the family. There's in Aberdeen we have a Polish hall. And we do Polish dinner drives where like you have to be a member of the Polish hall, being able to prove Polish lineage in order to get in. And like it was some of the most fucking fun experience I've like ever had, because it's always like it was literally like every time it goes the same way. Everybody comes in and it's a bunch of everybody's just like, hey, it's Uncle Ed, there's Uncle Andy over there, and like every family knows each other super well. And then you always see the girls and the kids go off to one side. We all hang out. The kids go play and hang out while the girls are catching up, and then the guys all go into the bar and they all get shit-faced drunk, and then they all fight. And we watch. And and it's like it's just like it was like that tradition that I love it to death.
So, is that community big?
There's probably so at the Polish Hall right now. There's probably it used to be when I was like younger. There was probably about 150 members. It's probably
Okay.
dropped down to about 90. And honestly, if I'm being legit, in the next 10 years, when like my grandpa and his generation starts passing, it's
gonna be
probably gonna drop a very
because
much less.
let me tell you this: the Norwegian community in Mexico, I know it's like the weirdest demographic. It's fucking small. Like, I remember growing up, I used to go to Independence Day parties at the embassy,
That sounds
and
like
it
a
was
fun
like
time.
50 people in it, and like everybody, like, and it was like, yeah, the ambassador genuinely just invited every single Norwegian descendant, and it was like 50, 60 people in each one.
That's funny.
It was kind of cool. I really liked it growing up.
So,
I haven't
like-
gone in a while.
I guess the big thing for us was like, so my grandparents, they moved here from New York. And I guess when they moved here, there was a big amount of Polacks in the New York community that moved across the country to here. I don't know the details of why they all moved as a bunch and all families that already knew each
and
other
let me
and
tell
were
you this:
involved.
I'm sure half of that Norwegian community is my family.
Yeah. Yeah, ours is much more about like when you think of New York and how communities and families worked there, ours just kind of moved here. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of where they came. And so like we had a big like my grandpa's generation, there's a bunch of them here. But like most of us like the generations below them, we've all moved away and we left fucking Grace Harbor cuz fuck this place. So like there once this generation passes, it probably won't happen anymore, which kind of sucks thinking about. But it's just that reality of life that like that demographic is very much going to shrink here soon where I live.
Pavel's family is the only Norwegian one in Mexico. I'm sure we're one of three. I genuinely don't believe it's more like 5 Norwegian families in Mexico. Because
That's
it's
still
such a
fucking-
weird thing.
That's still
It's such a
fucking
weird
cool, though.
combination.
It's kind of a fun one though.
It is a fun one.
See,
But it's
and, like-
super weird. Like, why would some Norwegian guy in the 20s decided to come to Mexico? I will never know that.
So, do you want to know the only argument I could ever make for why the United States could be considered one of the best countries in the world? And even
The
then,
hot pot?
I still think we fall short to other people. Is just the fact of how diverse
Yeah.
we really actually
and let me
are.
tell you this.
And that's the thing is like
When I went to Dallas, I stayed in a hotel near a mall. So I spent pretty much the 5 days I was there in a mall. I saw more black people than I've ever seen in my life in Mexico. More Muslim people, more Asian people than I've ever seen. It's fucking impressive.
Yeah, and that's my thing is like that's the crazy thing to me too is that like not like I don't understand why our government like perpetuates this separation between our cultures because that's the best thing about our fucking country is that I could literally experience and meet people who understand their home cultures from all over the world. I can understand and firsthand experience different cultures just because of how diverse and how many different types of people we actually have here. Like I have friends like my friend Antiloaf in the chat. Like he can teach me like so he learns like even right now his grandma gave him like all these cool like recipes and stuff that are very much in his culture from his community and like that's something that I can just he can share that with me and I can get it firsthand just because I know him and like I have that experience to meet someone who if everybody were like me I would never get that kind of experience and it's
Also,
like
I think most Americans are most in touch with their ancestors than most people.
yeah
Like people in Mexico, I know I'm Norwegian just because my grandfather kind of cared for it. Like he's like kind of passionate about it. But I'm also French, and I don't know shit about that.
see and that's
I know
one of the
most
hard
people
things.
here don't care about like their heritage. The only person
See-
like from another culture, and it's not even that different, that I'm in regular contact with is Latte.
And see,
And
that's
that's like
low-key.
the only person that isn't a international student that I know has another culture in him, and that's the only guy I regularly talk to from another culture.
Yeah, and that's like my big things that it's like there's so many like it's crazy because like that's my thing too is like that's something that too that I feel like is one of the big issues about the United States is when you look around, it's like for a white person to know about their heritage is a rarity, and we need to, that's what my demographic needs to change. Is that like I'm Welsh? I don't know shit about being Welsh. I should learn. I should understand because the thing is like a lot of people from Spanish cultures here, they teach the younger people their Spanish culture. That's a big part of a lot of them. Asian cultures are the same thing. Like those communities in our country
Mexicans
are so
kind of
proud
hate
of their
it.
heritage here. And that's the thing is like it's weird because it's like it's hard to say because like I can't say that I'm proud to be a white person. But the thing is I shouldn't say that because I should be able to say I'm proud to be Polish. I'm proud
to be Welsh.
and that's my big thing exactly is I can say I'm proud to be Welsh, but that's my thing is like I was lucky enough to I learned about the Polish community through my grandparents, and so that's my thing is like I can say that I'm proud to be Polish, and that's different than saying that I'm proud to be white because saying there's no heritage of being white. That's not a there's
Exactly.
nothing that's not a culture, but I can say that I'm proud of being Polish because I understand and I appreciate like I've learned how to I can make sausage from fucking scrap. I know how to fucking like
that's
stuff the
awesome.
intestines. I know how to grind the meat and everything. Why? Because I learned that through my Polish community. Why? Polish sausage
cool.
is fucking huge with Polacks. We're known
Okay.
for our Polish sausage. And
let
that's
me
something
tell
that my grandfather taught me how to make from scratch. Like I learned how to do those types of things and those are things I can be proud about. And that's the thing
That's
is
fucking
there's so many
cool.
like the white people in my like especially in the US, that's the things that it's like you want to change the opinion on it. Don't be proud of
Sausage
being white.
stream coming soon, by the way.
Look-
We're
yeah.
cooking sausages in stream at some point.
That would be fucking fun. But that's the thing is it's not even about sausage, but it's about like the fact that there are things in the culture that you can go in to learn. Don't be proud of being white. Be proud of the culture that is what makes you white. Because like I'm white because I'm Polish. Polacks
Let
are
me tell
white,
you
but I'm
this.
not white. I'm Polish. I'm Welsh.
Proud of being Mexican.
Those are the things that I need to be proud of, not the
tell
color
you.
of my skin.
I'm proud of being Mexican, but I'm not sure I have a drop of Mexican blood in me.
And see, that's the thing. The other thing too is like that's where it becomes weird too because it's like, I don't think being proud to be an American is a bad thing, and like because it's like for you can be proud to be Mexican even if you don't have a drop of blood in you.
Yeah,
Like-
I just really like the culture and the way we do it.
And see,
the way
that's
we
the thing.
Conduct ourselves, and it has. I mean, my whole way of being, it's all because of where I grew up. I know being Norwegian French, double French from the other side, and I'm not sure from the other one. That hasn't affected the way I grew up. Being Mexican has.
Exactly.
That's kind of the thing for me.
And see, and that's
'Cause
like
I know that I'm Norwegian. My grandfather is very proud of that because he talked about it with his grandfather a lot. So he kind of got it, and he's in touch with that side of his ancestry. But I know that being Norwegian hasn't affected the way I grew up. Being French hasn't affected the way I grew up. Being Mexican is the one that did it.
yeah, and see, and those are the things, and that's like the hard thing too here. That's one of our issues that we run into in the U.S. as well, is like especially right now going on with the whole Black Lives Matter things. I see a lot of people that are just it's ignorant. Their racism stems from ignorance, because it's like there's trying to say that like I can't be proud to be white, but you can be proud to be black. Well, the thing about that, and the reason there is that divide, is because with black culture and black history, black culture
That's
is
the
a melding. It's a melding pot. It's not just one thing, and that's
Let
the
me
thing.
tell you something that's very sad about it. Most black people, it's almost impossible for them to find out
Exactly.
what country they came from
Exactly.
because they just, and it's fucking sad because they just came and took them away. So they can't ask their grandparents, "Oh, where were you from?"
Exactly. And see, that's a big thing for me. And the other thing too is as they rediscover like cultures from Africa. And because like my thing is like I have 3 cousins that that grew up with me and everything, and so they're black, but they're Guyanese. They're from Guyana, which is South American. Although the color of
Yeah.
their skin is black, they're not from Africa. They're not African. But like the thing
they're
is
Latin American.
not only have they probably learned about African culture, they also know about their Guyanese roots. They know their grandparents now in Guyana. They've been able to contact them and learn. And that's the thing is like I hate that argument because people try and say, well, it's weird, like you can't be proud of being of your black heritage. Well, it's like it's because they're studying their culture. That's an actual thing that them, it's not even just like 1 or 2 black, it's them as a whole, as a demographic, or that's one of their big things. And that's what we should be as a country, not even just white, black, any, as a country as a whole, we should be supporting that and we should be helping, because that's what we as a country took away. It was, although yes, it was white people when we took them originally and founded this country, we as a country now need to recognize that we did this, and we need to help the person that needs it. Because there's like a quote I love, and I don't even remember where I get it, but it's about a shepherd with sheep, and it's like, I have 100 sheep in my farm, 1 sheep ran away. So the shepherd leaves that 1 to go get the 1 sheep, and he leaves the 99. Are the 99 sheep less important than the 1? No, it's because the 1 sheep is the one that needs help right now. It doesn't make them less important or more important, but it's what's important is helping when they need it. And right now, we need to help as a whole country.
All lives matter. Like,
Exactly.
It's not that you don't matter. It's that
Exactly.
right now, the ones asking for help are black people.
And see, and the thing is it's not even just that. It's addressing how we need to help. We don't need to, we shouldn't be arguing about if we should. We should be showing up ready to work as Americans, because isn't that Ford's whole thing? We strap on our boots, we show up, and we're ready to work. Well, that's our thing. We shouldn't be arguing on why should we help them or if we should them. We should be showing up ready to fucking work, and what can we do? How can we assist you as a community, as a demographic, and as Americans? Because at the end of the day, we're all Americans. Exactly. And that's the thing, is it's not up to me. I have no say in how I could help a black brother or sister, or as a black American. I shouldn't, I have no right to say how I should be helping them or what I should be asking them how I can best benefit them in those situations. Whether that's helping them rediscover their culture, helping them be proud of it, and like finding the interest and promoting the interests of their culture. But that's letting them still be the ones to decide who it is and how it grows. Because I have no say in how they should be discovering what they get to be proud of. Because as we were a new country that got to decide how we were coming up, we're trying to help them find a culture that they can be proud of, because we took it away from them. And that's the thing that makes us so beautiful, is the fact that we have cultures from everywhere. We need to be helping this one be able to find their own. Whether that means they're creating it or rediscovering one that already existed. Like, that's what we should be doing to help, not fighting over if they even freaking deserve it. Everybody deserves it, and everybody deserves to have something that they should be proud of.
A lot of
from their
people
past.
just assume that by doing that you're attacking them.
Exactly.
Like, if you say we should help black people find out who they are, or
Yeah.
how we can help her, some people will say, "Oh, so you mean black people shouldn't be helped, or white people shouldn't be who they are?"
No, and that's the thing is
that they're just twisting the way they think.
exactly. And if
It's
you want to
just
be proud
such a-
of your heritage, that's one thing. And that's my big thing with the whole movement, is that I feel like we need, like, that's where I feel like a lot of it stems from, and it's a point that nobody wants to talk about here. It never gets brought up. It'll never get brought up in a discussion about race. And that's my biggest thing, is that's the biggest point to drive home, is the fact that that's a culture that they don't get the luxury, like, because I can go on the computer right now and I could look up about my Welsh culture. They don't have that same kind of power,
Like,
and it's giving that
it's
back.
not as
Like,
easy as like going, "Oh yeah, I'm Zambian. What can I find about Zambian culture?" It's not as readily available.
yeah, exactly. And it's something
And
that,
again, let me remind myself. I genuinely believe the worst thing humanity has made is slavery, and right now,
I agree.
to this day, they're affected by it.
and
To
like the
this
big thing
day,
too is like,
they have affected deeply by it.
and like the thing that bugs me too is the fact that we're trying to act like things in the past are, it's so long ago. Dude, our country is a fucking we are a baby fucking
Living
country.
people
We are
have
a
grandparents
baby
that were
country.
slaves.
Exactly. We are a baby fucking country. It is not as far back as you really fucking
the
think.
first black woman to go to an unsegregated school is like fucking 40.
It's absurd in my mind. And that's the thing too, is that it's so weird because time is relative. Time is relative to the person looking at it. But the thing is when looking at the grand scheme of things.
If you and I are speaking about slavery, of course we didn't live through it.
Yeah,
but if you go and ask a black man, like a 50-year-old black man, he can tell you that his grandfather was a slave.
Yeah.
And his grandfather fucking suffered through it. Because again, it was fucking horrible. It's genuinely inhumane.
And that's the other thing too, is that like, that's the thing that I don't like about it, that I feel like too, is that like, I feel like those are the conversations we need to be having as a country. Exactly. Is like, we need to be bridging those gaps, because a lot of people of my age, that's why the ignorance stems more ignorance. And so it's like, as me as a white man, if I could understand why another white man would not feel comfortable approaching a black man and asking him a question like that. Like, I can understand, because some people are afraid it might be taken bad because of the stigma on the overall thing. But the thing is those are the conversations I feel like most people need to have. Like, I have a really good friend that I worked with up at McDonald's, Victor Trammell, and he's an amazing writer now, and I'll have to shout him out later on all of his news channels, but he writes news and everything, and I've learned so many good, valuable fucking lessons to him about, like, when he's told me so many stories about Malcolm X and why he was so revered in his lifetime. He lived long enough to see those types of things.
I read a lot about Malcolm X. I think that's important too.
And that's the thing.
You yourself learning about these people, because most schools won't teach you about them.
And that's the thing, is like,
will teach you about them. You have to learn about them yourself.
You have to go out of your way to find it, and I feel like people either they don't want to or they're afraid to, and they let that fear stop them too.
I know.
But those are the things we need to do that I feel like would fix things.
Of changing the way of thinking. Most people are afraid that knowing the fucking atrocities that happen to
Well, I mean, isn't that the whole fear of death? Death is coexist with change. And that people are so afraid of dying, we're so afraid of change. We're afraid of worlds changing. Because why are you actually afraid of your family member dying? It's not because of the death. It's because your life will forever be changed after that.
It is kind of like,
and you're afraid of that change.
Thinking America is the greatest country ever, and that nothing bad happens in it, and that everything is like peaceful and cool, and then you get we actually enslaved people. You actually enslaved people. And we did, like, fucking undescribably horrible things to people. Mm-hmm. Of course it will shatter the way you perceive. Oh, I think the stream crashed for me.
Oh, check. Can everybody still see everything?
Oh, okay. I think it's for me.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe just for me. So, of course, if you grow up thinking this way, and then you get the horrible bomb, we did, again, indescribably horrible things to people, of course it will change the way you look at your country. It should change the way you look at your country.
And that's the big thing, is that, and people are afraid to accept that change, though. And that's the thing, is and the way fear affects people, because it's like, what's human nature when you're afraid and adrenaline kicks in? You either fight or you flee. Neither of those are the right answer for something like this. And when we get afraid, we need to be willing to accept
fear.
Exactly.
Because the fear here is not about, I need to confront the horrible shit that happened. It's more of if this happens, I'm gonna hate myself if I learn about it. Mm-hmm. Because that's a lot of spin right now. That if little kids learn about the people have made, they will hate themselves for it. And because that's how fucking horrible it was.
And
like
I think
slavery and what its name, segregation and slavery. It was so fucking horrible. Of course, it made you think, like, yikes. Of course, it made you think we did horrible shit. But you have to reflect on it, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing too with America, is because we're so built into capitalism and things. We don't reflect here. We're always constantly, like, America is designed to keep us always looking forward to the next big thing. Why do we do that? Because when you're always looking forward,
most countries do it. Like, a couple of minutes ago, I was talking about the Spanish, and of course, I like subconsciously whitewashed it a bit. Mm-hmm. Like, even I do it. Yeah. I, like, subconsciously, I just say, like, oh yeah, they just came here and kind of just were good to them then. Of course they weren't. That's just how you tend to want to believe.
And that's a big thing about like real truths and personal truths. That's
I
like
know
a
it
big
wasn't
thing
like
about
that.
that.
But I, of course, when I think about it and when I reflect on it, I want to say it wasn't as bad. But it was that bad.
And that's
And
yeah.
that's just a mistake I made. A lot of people don't recognize that mistake. A lot of people just live thinking that way.
Yeah, and that's that's the other hard thing too is because like that's why what I was saying about everything moving forward is that like when's the most time that you do self reflection is when you stand still. That's when self reflection normally happens. But if you're constantly looking forward to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, you never give yourself the chance to
Yeah, when you
take a
don't
step
live
back.
in the moment.
And that's
In the
also that's like
present.
what our whole culture is built around. And I think that's why I'm so attracted to Buddhist countries. Is I feel like their whole culture is the opposite. And where we're like my whole country is designed to always keep me looking forward and moving forward, not looking back. Where other countries are much more about live in the present, live in the moment, and what will come will come.
Yo, it's starting to rain horribly. But yeah, I believe like a lot of people are almost afraid to look at what's inside.
Yeah.
Like the way it can shake up your whole way of being. Is the rain? Can you hear the rain? Like, is it very distracting?
No, I can't. I think we're good.
Okay. So a lot of people kind of just refused to hear themselves. A lot of people are afraid of finding out what's inside them.
Yep. And exactly, roasted just said it right there. Look at this cool thing we did, but don't look how we got it. Like
Exactly.
how we got here.
It's
That's
like,
that's a
oh,
lot of our mentality.
and I think that's very common in America. Like, oh, look at how fucking cool the White House is. Yeah, but it was built by slaves.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
and again, also, most cool places in Mexico is like, oh, look at how cool this thing is. But like, oh yeah, the Spanish just came and fucking
Yeah.
destroyed the, like the big Aztec cities. You go and see like, oh yeah, that fucking pyramid is amazing. But then you see oh, that was a city.
Yep.
This 50-meter area that's just a pyramid used to be a giant city.
Yep.
So you don't think where you are. You don't. Most people don't reflect on where they're standing.
Or how it got there. The fact that most of
how
those
it
cities
got
weren't
there.
taken. They were just taken.
Like what had to happen for it to get there? Like
So
the British Museum, everything is stolen.
a fun one for me in the U.S. So you know Mount Rushmore.
Oh, it used to be a holy. It used to be a sacred place, right?
That was sacred native land that they carved
And they
our
took it
presidents.
and
They
carved the
carved
face of a couple of slavers on it
to make a point.
to make a point. And now every year they just like, yeah, look at how fucking cool we are. We carve our presidents in native land,
And we sell it out as a tourist attraction.
and we sell it out as a tourist attraction.
Like,
I mean, and again, in Mexico it happens a lot. Like of course, we say we're very proud of our ancient cultures. We have ancient native people in our builds. We have a lot of statues about them, but we don't know them as oh yeah, this great poet. We don't know them. Oh yeah, this guy, he just tried to embrace the Spanish and they burned him alive.
yeah. Like,
We tend to think about the past as something better than it was. Like we see this great native leader called who's in the 100 Beatles. Okay, I forgot his name, but he's a poet. But he also used to be a great native leader, and he went and tried to receive the Spanish. Like, oh yeah, welcome to our land, and they murdered him. So of course we think, oh yeah, what a great poet. But we don't think, oh, this used to be the leader of his own land, of his own group of people.
yeah.
We just think, oh yeah, what a cool guy. I hope nothing bad happened to him.
Except for that's the very thing that
Except for
had it.
that's exactly what happened to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, but yeah,
History is written by the winner, of course it is, and that's part of it.
that's a
That's
big part
the
of
main
the issue.
issue.
That's the thing too, and like that's what I feel like is going to be so interesting moving forward as a society with technology now, is that you're officially it's no longer going to be that way, Because it used to be that way because we would write them in the books, and that's what was taught is in the books.
Yeah, but now you
But
can
now
access
you can see everything.
sources from other places.
You don't
Like
have to
now,
travel.
I can go and read online a history book from Spain, and the people from Spain can read someone from Mexico. They can say like, "Oh yeah, we kind of fucked them up. Like we were again inhumane to them. We treated them horribly."
Yeah, it's gonna be. But that's my hopes. Is I'm hoping our generation. I feel like there's gonna be big changes in our lifetime. I'm just afraid of what is gonna happen to bring them, because our generation very much so understands. Not even just my country. Obviously, your guys' country. I'm sure every country is in the same boat. On we see what's going on, and now that we know, we're no longer we're exiting the age of belief and entering the age of knowledge.
Okay, that's exactly what should happen. You shouldn't be ashamed of who you are. You shouldn't be like, oh, my ancestor did this thing, so now I'm a horrible person. You should be, my ancestor did this thing. I understand he did it. I reflect on it so it doesn't happen again.
Okay,
I
and
remember
so-
it for that reason.
That's a big thing, especially like so as me as a recovering addict. That's my thing. I'm not ashamed of a goddamn thing I did. Why? Because I learned from every mistake I made, and I'm a better person now because of it. And that's the type of thing we need to take that kind of view on as a country as a whole. It's like we shouldn't be ashamed about it. We should be proud that we're not that way anymore. And why are
Exactly.
why are we so ashamed when it gets brought up still? Is because nothing has fucking changed.
And
And
I
that's
really
the thing
like
is
the way
we
you
should
put
be-
it because it's exactly like when they did that episode talking about your whole trouble, your whole
Yeah.
thing with addiction. Like you're proud right now that you're in that way. It's not that you hate yourself for doing it. You're proud right now of you're changing of the way
Exactly.
you
And where I
change your
am
growth.
now.
Of where you are right now, and that's exactly what I think we should do. Like we shouldn't be around hating like some people do, hating people from Spain, or doing like just saying, "Oh yeah, it was all cool. They just came here, said hello to us, and had babies with us." I kind of said it in a, I had a brain fart and kind of say it that way. I regret it.
Yeah.
So we should just be saying like, "Yeah, this happened. This shouldn't happen again. We have to keep it in mind so it doesn't happen again."
And let's look forward as a whole on what we can do to be better next.
Yeah,
Like
like look
moving
forward. Like
It's-
we should be proud of what's gonna happen. We should be looking forward for the good changes to come.
like and that's what we need to get to a point. And that's what I think is so freaking weird with the US too, is that like I feel like the changes that we do make here will impact the entire world. So we have to be so careful
No,
about
because it definitely does.
like
Like the whole world looks at you. Like at this point of my life, I think I know more about American news than Mexican news, because the whole world's looking at you. Like whatever happens there affects every country. Every country had Black Lives Matter protests.
and
Every
that's,
country knows what happens. We all know what happens in America. So of course it affects you. It changes you. I know a lot of European people did a lot of reflection and thought a lot about the way they treated black people in their history during the protests. Because I know a lot of people in Germany and a lot of people in Britain had protests alongside the Black Lives Matter protests. Because they themselves knew that they had to look at the things the way Americans were looking at it. Of course, it changed a lot. Doesn't matter how much you love or hate the U.S., it's still a world power. It affects the whole world. I would say if you like it or hate it, believe it's the best country in the world. It's the most influential country in the world. 100%.
yeah.
We always think like, oh, how did the U.S. did this? We should do it similarly. We still do that here in Mexico.
Yep, and like it's so fucking weird, cause like the other thing too is like, it's like, in my opinion, the whole thing is like the whole thing with our country and how it's all ran is it's like that fucking high school election where the kid that should win the election is being made
Never
fun
wins
of it is being made fun of in the corner by the jock who just got elected president, who doesn't even know a goddamn thing about it.
I mean,
Like it's like that's what we
You
do.
just had a guy that used to be a game show host became president.
And like the thing I hate too is everybody wants to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna move to Canada. Like you're gonna fucking escape it. Like that's not how the world works. Like you might be able to escape immediate effects, but guess what? The repercussions everywhere.
And
Like
let me tell you this: a lot of people in Mexico say the same thing. I just want to leave as soon as possible. But then, who stays here to change it? If
everybody just leaves, then nothing changes.
if your whole then nothing changes because the people that stay are the people that want to keep it this way.
Yeah.
Like all the people that say like, "Oh, we are fine the way we are. We should stay. We shouldn't change anything about our lives," are the people that are willing to stay in that place. So of course that's a problem too.
Yep, there's a song I listened to. One of the lines I really like from it is the people that are flexins are the ones that are going nowhere. Like
Yeah.
and that's like I feel like a big thing that goes on too is that like the things that do get put into motion that do get changed are the things that covered up. But the things that are going to keep the country the same are the ones that get promoted and viewed. Like
Exactly.
it's crazy.
Politicians shouldn't be celebrity. Exactly.
I agree.
I don't remember who said it, but there's this quote about the guy that should be the president is the guy that should not want to be the president. Like the guy that least wants to be the president should be the president.
But and that's the thing too is because being a president's hard is because it's very much so like that. Like the type of person that would make a good president is the type of person that
Doesn't want to be a president.
yeah, and it's hard because it's like what leads a person mentally to wanting to be a president, and this is something I personally have thought about as someone who has thought about running because I feel like I would be good for it with the way I think. But it's like the things that it's like why do I
Have you
think that way?
like thought about running for like Congress or something? Like genuinely?
So I've thought about running. So the weird thing about the United States. Fun fact: this is a side thing that we don't need. This is a separate conversation from all that. But fun facts about becoming president: you have to be 35. That was signed into effect after JFK. So I can't even run until I'm 35. You're recommended to have like for a party to view you, whether it be the Republicans or the Democrats. For either of them to consider you, you normally have to hold 4 years in a seat as a governor. And in order to run for a governor, you have to have a different elected, like whether it be like a mayor or something like that. So there's like a full like, there's the right way to do it. But Donald Trump just did prove that that's all kind of fucking bullshit.
Yo, vote for me. Like, does Aberdeen has a mayor?
Yeah, we have a mayor. I don't even.
Have you actually considered going for that?
No, not currently, just because of the way my life is right now. I couldn't dedicate enough time to it. Like once I've don't get me wrong, I've thought about it, but once I actually like sit down and truly think about it,
Okay.
there's a lot of
Do you
bureaucratic
like
bullshit.
actually have an interest on it? Like, would you actually like the way you are
Oh, I would
and
do
the way you have?
I would
Did
do
you
it.
actually have an interest on it?
So the most appealing thing about being a president is it's only 4 years.
Here's 6 years and no re-election.
Yeah, well, it's 4 years, no re-election. If you get reelected, it's 8. That's the most appealing part of president is it's not a lifetime commitment.
Yeah.
It's about making the biggest amount of
But
change you
I
can
believe
in a
in a
short
way
span of time.
it has to be because still for the rest of your life half the country will hate you.
I mean, to be fair though, half the country, there's
The country will love you.
a lot of people's, and the thing is that just depends on how much value you put in other people's opinion.
Well, that's pretty much it. But
Like,
that much hate, even if you don't care, has to weigh on you somehow.
so Macklemore's
And you
song
can never drive again.
in "Hold Your Head Up" by Macklemore. There's a line: "The brighter the light, the darker the shadow." Yeah, things like that come at a price. Yeah, there's things that there's a reason that when like Obama, if you put a side by side of him where when he became president and when he left office,
Oh,
it looked
he
like he
looks
had aged 20 years.
20 years older.
Like that's a very apparent fucking thing. But the thing
Yeah.
is that like you have to make something like that worth it to yourself. And the way that mentally, the only way I could justify it and make it worth it for me to actually think about doing it is if I genuinely think I could make the positive change to make the sacrifice worth it. Because I would want, when I leave office, I would want to be leaving office into a better society than when I entered office.
Yeah, exactly.
A society that I would actually, that my life as a whole would be improved, not even just personally, but I would feel better looking at my communities and my society.
You'd have
like
to
it's
have
something
a
I
reason
would
for
have
it.
to be able to be proud of what I did.
Not just be
afterwards.
like a power seeking.
Exactly. It's not about the ego. It's not about what other people think of me for doing it. For me, it would be when I am done and when I'm out of office, did I make a positive impact that I could live with afterwards?
Yeah, did you
'Cause it-
change the world in a positive way?
Exactly. Did I leave something like and because it's like it's a big thing my mom freaking pushed on me all growing up, whether it be like picking up other people's trash at a beach or something like that. It's just always leave a situation better than when you
Better
entered.
than you found it.
Exactly. Like when you come into a job and you leave a job, you leave the job in a better place than when you entered it. Try and make a positive
Exactly.
impact, whether it be any community, anything like that.
And,
even
you know-
even if it's just training other people to be better, so that when I've left, I'm leaving them with better employees behind. It's even like little things like that are the type of things that it's like.
And
You have to find the
you've been
ways to make
talking
the
about
improvements.
bodies cultures, and I remember there was this very famous story around the last World Cup. The Japanese players used to stay after the match and pick up the trash in the stadium and things like that,
And that's
and that kind of things.
And that's one of the things I think that's very beautiful about their culture. And that's one of those things that it's like, because they are so very, like, it's so weird because I feel like, at least from the outside looking in, because I don't personally know, they seem to give a fuck about the environment actually. Why? Because they're actively affected by smog and things like that, and the problems that global warming have been presenting.
Oh yeah, and
Like
talk a bit
Tokyo,
about to,
like
it's about to be under the ocean and things like that.
Exactly, like those things are impacting them first, and that's why. But that's why they're
mean,
also.
They
I
give
feel
a
like it
fuck
breeds
because
that.
they have to give a fuck.
Exactly, and that's the thing that I guess I admire the most about that is that they do it even though they shouldn't have to. They still do it, and that's something I'm like I that's beautiful to me. Like, because it's like what I love. There's a sociology experiment that I'm obsessed with lately. It's called the shopping cart experiment, on what determines if a person's a good person or not. Is do they return the shopping cart or do they leave it in the parking lot? Because it's one of those tasks that there's no repercussions from it. If you leave the shopping cart, there's no, you're not gonna get, there's no repercussion for leaving it. But it's
The only thing you have to do is
push
walk.
it is walk to put it away. Take a little bit of your time to put it away. To leave it in that spot, leave everything nice. It's the
about
shopping
the
cart
worker
experiment.
that has to move it then.
Exactly. It's like that's the big one that I like is that's like a fun question. It's like one of those things that, like, for me personally, I'm that weird person. That's a really good, in my mind, a first date question. Like, do you put the shopping cart away? Like the shopping cart
It's
test.
kind of like the
like it's a good judge of
stacking
somebody's
plates.
character.
You know, a lot of people say you should stack plates when you leave a restaurant
Yeah.
because it's easier for the people to pick them up there. Mm-hmm. And most people will say, "I won't do it. That's their job."
And see, and that's my thing. Is like it's that just thing of like it's a way to judge a person's character without too much looking too deeply, I guess. It's just a simple thing that it's like, do you do it?
Yeah,
And it's like there's no actual repercussions for it. It's just, do you do something that's a common courtesy for other people?
It's the simpler way of saying you should judge people by the way they treat people under them instead of their superiors.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of those. That's one of those little tests that I'm like, those are the type of things that I think are important that other people they don't even think about it really.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people generally don't give a second thought about it. They're just like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here. I don't have to go leave it there. Okay, cool. It's supposed to be here. it is a great experiment.
Yep. All right, guys. I feel like we should like liven the mood a little bit. We're at about an hour and 40 minutes, so
Let me
we
tell
should.
you, by the way, to this point, this is probably my favorite podcast we've made.
I think this has been a really fun one. I think it's been a really good one.
We've flowed through the conversation beautifully.
Yeah. Thank you, chat, for being here. It's been a while, so hopefully you guys can get through our Hopefully, I hope we would do Hassan proud by that combo.
Oh, let me tell you this. Hassan is my favorite trimmer.
I wouldn't go that far.
And it's
to be fair,
my biggest
okay.
man crush on this planet.
Fun
I'm
fact,
in love with him.
Fun fact: I go to Will Neff's like movie watch-alongs every week, so I like Will a lot more than I like Hassan, but I respect Hassan. I laugh at a lot of his things because like I watched his roast, and I think the funniest joke from the roast. The funniest joke from the roast was him doing all that while shilling out to the biggest corporation on Amazon Primes.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, that's Hassan in a nutshell. But
I have a gigantic
get
gay
it,
crush on
like-
him.
yeah. So fun fact, guys.
Like,
but-
I'm genuinely like, he's so fucking hot.
So, guys, real quick, do y'all want to watch this beautiful music video again? Because I'm gonna flex this and lighten the mood real quick. So
I'm not gay, but I can recognize a hot man more than most people are willing to.
I can, as a bisexual male, just recognize and respect.
I doubt it.
All right. So we have Anton the Wayward. This is one of my friends from my hometown, and this music video and song is poppin'. So even if I get copyright strikes for this, we're gonna flex it real quick because I absolutely love him. And as the screen says, check out Anto the Wayward. All music platforms.
Rella is asking if you're bi.
Yeah. Yeah. We've already talked about that.
I doubted about it a couple of times. I'm not sure what I am.
See, my thing is just like that's what I agree to, but my biggest thing is that I like what I like when I like it. That's how
I just don't like labels.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've doubted about it a couple of times.
Yeah, I just like what I like when I like it. But
Yeah.
Alright, so this right here
Hassan
is
is one of those like it's.
Yep. Anton the Wayward. This is my friend from hometown. And it is streaming. You can find him on Spotify, YouTube. I believe he's on Facebook. All of the musical platform thingy-majiggers. But it's amazing, so we're gonna flex it one more time for him.
I really like it. This man is talented. It's all on Spotify. He's very talented from the one video I've seen.
I see you once every blue moon. Otsuki me, it's like a festival. Shit, that's about life. You make my mind swarm. I'm like Baby Pew. Get lost in my bed. You on little way. Hit the D slow side stroke before I switch tunes on you. In your ear, like see, I guide you. You don't need no nigga, and I like that. Ain't no babies round your neck. The free spread gave me time to waste time. I found some peace of mind and made it time to ease your mind. We be childlike, raise each other like scum. Fuck flower boy, bumblebees and garden sheds. Pollinating sunflowers, yeah, we still apart. I could be the one to lead if you believe that we could be. It's hard for me to feel the breeze. Could those be autumn leaves? They pink just like your cheek. We do this back and forth, the rambling. I'm awfully awkward off the topic. Do you want this pack of Charlie Puss and shit? Can you give me 1 second? Okay, now someone told me when it's coming. Yeah, I could be your plushie, cuddle love with you or something. A weighted blanket, sipping chocolate, neck and go be bumping. A crunchy roll, get cozy, my little story while we watching. I know that you ain't wanna start the combo. I see the way you look at me, the fireworks been starting. Ruby red cheese, roasted marshmallows, how our fingers locked in. Watashi ni wa koku haku ga arimasu. Way up, way up, way up, way up, way up. I wanna be close to you. Way up, it's closer. I wanna be close to you. Way up, way up, way up, it's closer. Wait up, wait up, wait up, wait up, wait up. I don't wanna be alone. can feel your energy. She said.
That's such a banger. It's so good.
Yeah.
I just felt like a radio host.
Yeah, my friend slaps and he makes amazing music. So gotta shout out the homie real quick.
Yeah.
But
And the video is very good too.
Honestly, I think it's really well put together.
I know a lot about filmmaking. That's very good.
Yeah. So guys, let's do some exiting thing. Oh, real quick, did you want to talk about the NBA finals?
I'm really not that passionate about it.
Okay, cool. So real quick, I'm gonna give some fight predictions before we close out for this Saturday. The Conor McGregor.
Our local expert.
Yep, the
in
local
UFC
expert
fights.
on it. So, the big fight to look forward to on the prelims. So Ryan Hall is coming in after a 2-year layoff, and he's fighting basically. The guy is very strong, a good jiu-jitsu dude. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, not on Ryan Hall's level, and his stand-up game's not even close. Ryan Hall's automatic lock. It might go 3 rounds. If it doesn't go, it'll go probably by second round submission. And then, so later in the card, so Nico Price is fighting. That's my take on his fight for the evening. Yep, DK with the sports. Sean O'Malley is a guaranteed lock. The big question is when and how. Yeah, so the big one with Sean O'Malley, what I think it is as he's been saying all in the press conference, the longer the fight goes, the worse the knockout's going to be. So it's going to be one of those big fights. And then I'm taking Stephen Wonderboy Thompson over Gilbert Burns in the co-main event. I think Wonderboy's stand-up game is going to be stronger. He's a karate base, and he just knows how to work distance so well that I think Gilbert Burns, even though he's powerful, really good submission specialist in jiu-jitsu, I don't think he's going to be able to close the distance, and I think Wonderboy takes the win. And then in the main event, I am taking the Diamond. I'm taking Dustin Poirier over Conor McGregor, and I think it's going to be by second round knockout.
Officially predicting that McGregor is going to lose.
Yes, McGregor is going to lose in the second or third round by knockout. I don't know if it's going to be the second or the third, but it will be in either the second or the third by knockout. And I think Dustin Poirier, I think that's what's going to happen is that I think Dustin Poirier is more well-rounded. And he's going to be able to work the stand-up. He's going to be able to I think he's going to be able to implement his grappling game well enough to make McGregor hesitant on the top. And I don't know that McGregor's going to be able to adjust. And I think if he leaves his legs out again, he stands zero chance. Like if Dustin Poirier can just blow that leg up, he's done.
Latte's asking if McGregor isn't as good as he used to be.
It's hard. We don't know that. This is the most focused we've seen McGregor since in a long time. So I guess it's really this is going to be the final test of let's see what McGregor shows up. Because he did take so much. That's the other thing is why I'm so worried about the leg game and the grappling is McGregor shifted complete focus over to boxing for so long. He's not adjusting back to it being an MMA, mixed martial arts fight. He's still in a boxer's mindset. And so he needs to check those leg kicks. He needs to get his grappling game back to where it needs to be. And he needs to not get tired. Because if Conor wins, it'll be a first round knockout. If it goes past the first round,
it's gonna be a great fight, Latte.
Yeah, if it goes past the first round, I think he loses.
So you believe he only can win in the first round? He can only win in the first round?
What was that?
So you believe he can only win in the first round?
I believe his best chance is in the first round, and unless in like a wild injury happens, I don't see him winning past the first. I think Dustin would win by decision. He has better stamina, better endurance, better grappling.
Because I know about boxing, but UFC is kind of lost.
The other thing too, though, the big thing with that is Conor's known for coming in a flurry and coming in and laying it hard and heavy. So if Dustin hesitates or if he second guesses himself, he might be in trouble. And that's why I think in the first is where we're gonna find that out. So if Conor drops him in the first, it's because Dustin hesitates. But if Dustin comes in, which it looks like, especially from the press conferences, he's level minded, it's business, and he's got a game plan. And if that game plan is work the legs, work your grappling, tire Connor out, and just downslide pressure after that, he's gonna get the job done, and Connor's gonna be a staple at the end of his career. And then honestly, if that happens, Dustin Poirier is gonna go on, beat Charles Oliveira, and be the champion. That's my prediction. Because whoever wins
very
this,
detailed prediction.
yeah. But the thing is whoever wins this fight, whether it be Dustin or Conor McGregor, they're fighting for the belt next. And although I think Conor McGregor fighting for the belt is a bigger sell, I think if Dustin can win in a decisive fashion, not only is it better for him individually, I think it's better for the UFC.
Like as an institution.
Yeah, because I think Conor McGregor's on the downhill, and Dustin's still hungry, and so I think it goes up. Thanks for the tip on
you for the
yeah,
bets.
I got you. You know, I live in Washington State where I can only gamble in person at sports casinos now. So
are those
you
in
guys,
reservations?
you guys can use all these sports gambling apps that one day hopefully we can get a sponsor from. Maybe get like a DraftKings sponsorship. And yeah,
DraftKings, we are available.
we are available, DraftKings.
I can do whatever the fuck you want me to do.
But all right, guys. So I think we are gonna wrap up here. It has been a good long night. Really, I think honestly one of my favorite podcasts we've done yet.
And I think it's my favorite.
Yeah. So we will catch you guys again here soon. I'm not gonna make a promise on when, but
At
I
some point we
promise.
were about to do a hot tub stream.
Yes, but things fell through at the last moment. And also, Loki, I was kind of trying to figure out how to get my entire setup next to my mom's hot tub, and I did. I was having a hard time figuring it out.
We didn't end up doing it was because we didn't know how to.
Yeah, how to get it to work. But one day I might be getting a GoPro, so if I can do that and get the right program capture card for it, I might be able to do IRL
If you can
stuff.
stream it, I could just put my phone next to the hot tub and be there.
Yep, we can figure it out. But all right,
I want to get in a
guys,
suit. I want to get in a suit and get in the tub. I feel that would be weirdly fun.
that'd be great. All right, Pablo, any closing messages, real quick?
Go Bucks.
All right. Oh, real quick, I need your help with one last bet before we close the night.
Okay.
I don't watch baseball. Should I take the Yankees or the Astros?
Who has a Mexican pitching?
I don't know. I don't watch baseball.
I don't watch it either. My family watches it. My favorite sport to watch is between basketball and soccer. Football for cultured people.
All right. I just need you to pick. Are you picking the Yankees or the Expos?
I know the Yankees are like the one team that always win. So I'm going with Yankees. And my grandma goes.
Yankees nuts! Yankees nuts.
This is over. This podcast is over. Okay, what were you gonna say with the Astros?
Oh, it's the Expos and Expos D's nuts.
Oh,
Double entendre. I love you all, guys. We will catch you guys the next episode. And this is my friend Vanishing Prince. She is playing Dead by Daylight. Love you guys and have a great night.
see you guys.